Well guys, Sony has officially started production on the next big Spider-Verse Spider-Man spin-off. Morbius is almost here, and we are now officially seeing the first set photos and set videos of Kraven the Hunter. And lo and behold, what we are seeing now gives me very strange flashbacks to what I predicted would be this film, aka the lowest common denominator, anything that could possibly connect to anything Kraven. And believe it or not, this has ties all the way back to The Amazing Spider-Man 2. Longtime listeners of the podcast and subscribers will know that I was privy to many details in regards to what Sony was planning with the Amazing Spider-Man franchise that I still haven't really talked about because of reasons. Obviously, I did go in depth into what they were planning on with the Sinister Six, and while also further elaborating on that, I did way back when, like we are talking like 6 years ago now, talk about some of the plans for Kraven the Hunter at the time. I suspected because at the time it sounded so god-awful that they could never possibly go back to those. Well, it looks like they just might have. So what we're seeing now is that Kraven the Hunter has officially started production. They are shooting in London, and they are shooting action sequences which feature Kraven. Now, what we're seeing in these action sequences is Kraven wearing very loose-fitting clothing that doesn't fit him. He's also barefoot, and if you look at the few videos that people caught and threw up online, well, he is moving like a feral beast. Almost like a beast that's out of his element as he's jumping around cars, bouncing off of cars, like he's some sort of agile cat. And there's other clips out there where it looks like they stop in the middle of it, like the action sequence is done, and he looks almost confused, like an animal lost in the concrete jungle. Now again, as I talked about the old version of Kraven that they were developing at one point, and I'll just reiterate it quickly here because by now it's half a decade ago or more when I revealed some of those details, the initial plan was for Kraven to be sort of like a Tarzan type character. A character who was lost somewhere in the Siberian woods, and suddenly he comes back and he's sort of like a Tarzan-like character where he's learned in nature, he studied animals, and he essentially lived with like a highly advanced tribe of some sort or something that they were pitching or whatever dumb idea it was. And essentially, he kind of got like reprogrammed by nature to be, a ferocious hunter who craved for the hunt of the most, highly sought after targets. Again, the animals. So Spider-Man would be one of them. Now again, it doesn't look like they're straying too far away from it. Because, I mean, all you have to do is just go look at what's happening on set. And people were wondering, well, how are they going to position Kraven the Hunter, who's this, militaristic, poaching, almost nationalist character from Russia? Well, you probably don't. So what do? Well, you go back to the drawing board to abandon plans, which we still see that they used those abandoned plans to even develop Venom, which they stray far away from what they were planning with that character in the TASM franchise. And we see that they're just essentially regurgitating ideas from the rejected version of the Sinister Six. So a bootleg Tarzan. I can't believe we're still here. Sony out here still producing films that haven't belonged in theaters since the 2000s. My God.